People join amateur theatre societies for all kinds of reasons. You've got the people that just want a bit of a social life. You've got the people who literally want to create a hobby and have it running part-time along whatever other interests they have. You've got people who actually treat it a bit like a singles club and are looking for the man or woman of their dreams. And you've got people that want to produce the best theatre they can possibly produce. And that falls into two categories anyway. That falls into postgrad, which are grown-ups who have left school, left the education system behind, have pursued a career of their own and are happy in that career, but act on the side or work backstage on the side, or creatives, whatever. And then you've got the youth side of things, people who are still in education and are thinking of maybe becoming a professional and are gaining experience, just seeing if this bug that they've caught, this performing bug or whatever it might be, if they're into lighting or set building or whatever, seeing if it's what they want to do professionally, and therefore they're getting their hand in with their local theatre company before they maybe attend drama school or somewhere like that. The reason I mention this is because now you have to bear with me a little bit here. I've got to try and say it in the right way. A lot of people that belong to amateur theatre societies have not been trained. Fair enough. Some professionals, some resting professionals, act with amateur societies to keep their hand in, to keep themselves sharp, which is fine. But I'm talking about the people that grow up, come through the amateur society, company, charity, whatever you'd like to call it, non-professional, and they've never been trained. I think that amateur theatre creates a whole host of naturally talented people, and that's something you cannot teach at drama school. You can teach technique, you can teach how to develop a professional attitude, how to develop your attitude and bring it to a professional environment after you leave drama school, and obviously how to physically, how to get your body to respect the demands that the professional theatre environment would have on it in a performance. So if you're doing 8 shows a week for 6 months or whatever, it would teach you to be able to handle that process. And as I say, the attitude and everything. But natural talent, that I want to say X factor, but that's kind of been hijacked a little bit, hasn't it? But it is an X factor. It's an unknown quantity, and I think that a lot of people have in amateur theatre that have not been trained have a natural ability to be able to do things that probably a lot of drama schools are screaming out for. They love those people in their corridors and classrooms, I'm sure, when we get back to normal, that is, and when we can all open our doors again. And the reason I mention that is because when we created Sardines, we did it without any training at all. I was originally a butcher years and years ago. For over 20 years I was a butcher, and eventually I got a bit sick and tired of just working in the same environment with the same type of people, and I just wanted something to stretch me a bit more. I had my own business as well, but that's how I got into amateur theatre, through one of our customers. She was a director of the local Am-dram society, and I went along there and started acting. Fantastic. But when Sunday opening became legal, I had to close the business down because it diluted our weekend trade terribly, and so I started working in the industry more as a job rather than my own business. So I did that, but I did get a bit disillusioned with butchering. Just as I say, because of the environment I was working in, day out, the hours, the people I was working alongside, it just didn't do enough for me. So very naively, I decided one day that I was going to become an actor, a professional actor, and I was going to buy a copy of the stage, and go along, see what auditions they had at the back, go along, get a few jobs, get some professional jobs. This is how naive I was. I didn't realise at the time that casting agents and stuff look at your CV, see what you've done professionally in the past, see what qualifications you got from drama school. Nowadays, it's the rep theatre way that it's done is a thing of the past these days, and drama school is very much, and you're having an agent is very much part of it these days, cracking into the profession. You do still get a few 1 in a millions, but not many. But I didn't know all this, so I was going to get a copy of the stage newspaper, see what auditions are in the back, go along, get some work, and become an actor, just like that. Anyway, I got a copy of the stage, looked in the back, and there were some auditions, but there were also all these job adverts for selling advertising in the publishing industry. And because obviously, I suppose, out of work actors are perfect target markets for, it's the perfect target marketplace for cash in hand, selling advertising, that sort of thing. So I went along to a couple of those interviews. I got both the jobs, and I started working selling advertising in the city, and I did very well at it. I'd never done it before, and I did so well. On my first week, I walked out of that office after 5 days' work on a Friday night with £2,500 of cash in my pocket, and that's how it was paid. It was paid cash every week, every Friday. Whatever you earned that week, you got paid, and I thought I was going to be a millionaire. It was just like that, selling advertising. I never repeated that, but it was probably because of that very first week that I stayed doing that for the next 3 years. What it did do is give me an insight into how the publishing industry works. So I was selling some advertising. I got disillusioned with that in the after 3 years as well, because that is a very strange process and activity to make a living at, working in an advertising house, on an advertising floor, in an advertising department, alongside people that want cash every Friday for whatever vice they might have, I don't know, but you name it, they've got it. So that's fine, but they earned their cash. It wasn't the right environment. You do get burnt out like that. So after 3 years I'd had enough, but it gave me enough insight into publishing to set up my own business, and after a couple of years or so we started Sardines magazine, because I was obviously still doing the acting on the side. I knew about publishing, and I knew that in the amateur industry there wasn't really a decent publication out there, especially not a contemporary publication. So we started Sardines. No training at all. Everything I know for starting Sardines was self-taught. But I've self-taught myself properly, if you see what I mean. But it goes back to this natural ability. I just think a lot of people are untrained in amateur theatre, and that's the way that they've decided to go. And it's very interesting, isn't it? I think that amateur theatre is full of this talent that you can't teach people that they've got. And so yeah, I think drama schools would be crying out, or really probably the professional industry would be crying out to maybe hone some of that natural ability, maybe add a bit of technique to some of it, and Bob's your uncle. But I've seen some amazing amateur shows that have blown me away. Amateur shows blown me away completely. And I've seen professional shows that I've walked out of in the interval that have been rubbish. And vice versa applies as well, you know. So, yeah, horses for courses, I suppose. But there we go. I've gone on a bit off track today because I'm trying to keep it on theatre, not on politics so much. The politics are a bit crazy. We're talking now about all primary schools in the country not opening this coming week at some point. So I don't know what's going to be happening. Looks like we're going to be homeschooling for some time to come. Let's see what happens. Let's see how we go. But please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link's down here. Also, subscribe to Sardines. I think what I'll talk about as well coming up is some of the cover stories we've got with some of the celebrities, and tell you a thing about one or two things that were told to me by one or two celebrities on our covers. Some of it was for the feature, the written feature, the story, and some of it wasn't. But I can tell you about that soon. So subscribe to YouTube. You'll get told when we post a new video, and you can hear about that coming up. But that's it for now. Stay safe, stay well. We will be back, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye for now.